So, as I start this off, two things. One, I didn't actually get to finish the character I wanted to finish, but two, yeah, I had to look around OBS things because some settings were not correct because I was trying to record some game development stuff. That was not going to happen. Also, got that Eldritch Parasite run. Cool. Also, I mean, I guess a little 2.5 piece of information. I'll mention it again when we get to the timestamp, but again, as always, it's the usual. If anything breaks, then just know that I literally pulled the character from where they came from. That being said, I just realized, as we have this Eldritch Parasite run, we are also on Aaron. So that's going to be really, really interesting. So, as the character immediately crashes, I guess we'll play the other character instead. So, I don't want to hit stop recording, but let's move on. Now, that's odd. I'll take a quick look while the game's loading in the background, but if I were to look at this really quickly... why did everything just explode into an oblivion? So, let's take a quick look while the main screen is rocking. So if I look at A, B, question mark? Oh, I know what it is. So it's actually on me. So I'm pretty sure I have to load this again. If nothing else, we're going through it live, even though it's not live, it's recorded. I could just cut this out, but just to at least show you how quick it can be to at least bug test things. Also, the reason why, I just realized that for whatever reason, I did not, oh my goodness, pain, I did not enable, for some reason I'm linking to text files and not ito files. Why have I done this to myself, by the way? But that means I have to do this for the other one. That's not so much of a problem, but as you hear Windows noises in the background, it's like, oh, do you want to change the file extension? Yes, I actually do. So I actually have to fix this for each one of these. But, again, that's not a problem at all. That being said... that does mean I have to open these all again, and we should be able to get everything set up properly. Why is that appearing the way it is? Oh, because I, for some reason, am linking an ito file that I didn't think I was linking. So, without further ado, let's set these things up. I keep mistyping. But we'll do this live, and then I have to try it again. If not, I mean, I guess you're not even going to be listening to this recording. But let's set things up again, and let's see if we can get things working. This would be really great if I could do this in one. If not, well, I guess you wouldn't even be listening to this recording. But otherwise... let's get into the run. So yeah, it was working before, but for whatever reason, it seemed that we need a weapon, better weapon, by the way. Is this a better weapon? Well, I guess it is now. And the timestamp will have just happened now. So again, as I noted before, is we get Charisma, Light, Dexterity, Second Encounter, Knowledge, and maybe Takushi's on at the end. If anything breaks, just know I pull these characters out from literally just hot out of their boxes. As odd as that sounds to say. So. But yeah, why I was crashing was particularly a linking error for whatever reason. I must have either mistyped the name of an ito file, or the fact that it needs to be an ito file at all was probably a big problem. But the funny part, I'll mention it after. Footage Bulletin Festival, date and Friday. Is this the first time we've actually gotten date? Anywho, let's prepare first, because I need a spell. But yeah, as we autopilot here, yeah, so those last recordings in which I used an immediate event through the Perm plugin, I should have actually taken that gruesome totem, but yeah, through the Perm plugin, I forced an event immediately. It was working before because you saw it in those recordings and episodes. Those were TXT files, which I shouldn't have done for whatever reason. I think it's because I did just hit like new document, and that it obviously defaults to TXT. And so I did not ever switch them to .ito, which means that they just worked because I linked them to a text file. But they should be ito files, and so yeah, everything is fixed now. That took a while, but off we go. Otherwise, the other thing I wanted to mention, as Aaron starts to just absolutely demolish our everything, is that, yeah, we are scraping at the bottom of the barrel now for characters. And, well, that's a good news, because that means I get to not move on, but prepare other things, or do other things that I've prepared for. The sad news is, unless more characters come out somewhere, yeah, I don't have much else. I've probably skipped a handful of characters, because at this point, again, I'm trying to usually not break the rule that is, I don't play characters from the same creator back to back to back. And that includes myself to some extent, but I mean, if there are no other options, I really don't have any other options. The other one, I think the other choice there grants experience and stuff, but 5 Doom Decrease is just too powerful. So, but yeah. Yeah, not really much else to say on that front. If you have other characters that I haven't played, because I do try to keep notes, but for whatever reason, actually no, that's not true. I do have notes and stuff. Basically, I have all of the Ito files in order again, so for myself, just so I can track who I've played and who I haven't played. Otherwise, I would have gotten things wrong as we go on a date. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Basically, we're on our last handful of characters. I might play 1 or 2 of my own characters, but aside from that, unless it's a new character, obviously, then I'm just gonna break order. But yeah, not really much else to say. I think these choices do matter, or at least some of these choices matter, but I'm just mindlessly going through and just seeing how healthy we can remain. Now, Branded is proccing during these events, but not much I can do. Shrug, that's the end of the sentence. Yeah. We do have, like, the Protag perks, and I call them Protag perks because they pretty much apply to any character you want, save for non-main characters, so Survival Instinct and Winging It. And then the other perk pack that would fill in the Protag perks would be Unrelenting and Predestined, so... And if you have, basically, if you're using any of those perk packs, or both, then you are essentially using Protag perks. That's what I call them. And I include myself in that, because I'm sure more than a few of my own characters have Protag perks. But usually, I try to give them something, or a lack of perk packs, so that I can give them just bonuses outright, make them feel more unique gameplay-wise. But, again, there's only so much you can do, but the limitation and even just the tools we have do allow for a lot of variety, at least in my opinion. And if you really need to keep going, extending out the variety, you can add events, so on and so forth. We now have the Perm plugin, which gives a lot more. And yeah, feel free to just mix and match based on what you feel might be interesting or immersive, or whatever you think is fun. So, yeah, as Branded continues to proc here, we don't have really much recourse other than to Ghostly Spear. I just want to see how much damage I can do. Guaranteed. And the answer is actually quite a lot, but we still need to get down to that level. Now, this is a boss, so we do use a lot of max stamina. Or, like when I say a boss, I mean a hefty boss, not handcuff tech, or not... hey, 2 to 3 turn nails, non-ending A, so on and so forth. You get what I'm trying to say. Basically, if you try to take the boss of Sailors, I mean, mad respect. Shrug, that's all I have to say. So, Survival Instinct, unfortunately not as great here in Eldritch Parasite, because by the time you are at 2 reason or below, you've probably lost the run. But it does have its uses. You just have to be really lucky, basically. And it depends on the number of investigations. The more investigations you have at 2 reason on an Eldritch Parasite run, the more RNG you are willing to RNG. By the way, what am I doing here? I think our mystery order is still relatively okay. Yeah, so we're in Bulletin here. Aaron increases our Doom by 5, but... oh, that's what I was going to say. I mean, have you seen me take 90 Doom from this enemy yet? I was going to just buff the player for that encounter and just have it decrease Doom by like 7 minimum, but again, because I haven't really run into problems with that enemy, sure. Now, if you're new to World of Horror, that enemy will feel unfair, but I promise you, if you're playing World of Horror, quote-unquote, more efficiently, end quote, then you won't have... You should pretty much never be defeated by that enemy. And even if that's the case... I think you can run from that enemy, too, on a non-Katak run, so if that's the case... again, you have a lot of recourse to avoid just pretty much dooming out. 90 Doom is like just auto-death. There's no reason to pretend it isn't. Aside from very specific pseudo-infinites or very specific custom character specifically, combinations. I should have police patrolled, by the way. Yeah, I'm just going to do it now. I am going to set the patrols in the village, but more importantly, handcuffs. But patrols in the village would help out. Now, 62% Doom probably going into our fourth... Well, 68% Doom moving into our fourth mystery is not great, but hey. There's only so much I can do. Also, this is... Is this... No, I was about to say. Anywho, moving on. Funny enough, we have not hit our max stamina yet, but it's fine. That being said, if I don't... so what I wanted to say is I haven't seen that encounter before, but that being said, again, unless we start getting more mysteries in the village location, you're not going to run into as many village enemies. I feel that should just... that sentence should just speak for itself. It's stumbling words. But... let's just not deal with anything bad here and move on with our lives. Roads closed isn't going to be great, but what can I do? Not really much else to do. Bottle of water, that's useless, I forgot. Eldritch Parasite. Frogs or yeah, take Festival, who am I kidding? We will level up now. Core Strength will help out a little bit. But let's increase our Dexterity as well, just so that we have more stamina to work with. Take our Doom and visit the festival. Yeah, you know what? Sure. But my reason and stamina, but HP overall. So because we have festival, I'm feeling a bit more comfortable in this run. However, that could quickly go down the drain if we fail events back to back to back and just start taking damage here, because I just reminded myself that I am in this forest. With ringing ears also, with ringing ears also, that means we are not going to be able to prep strong, but we'll see. Yeah, we're going to run into out of funds, but if we trade off funds at that previous event, it wasn't going to... We were losing something to some extent. More than I would like, but I had to make a choice, because in that event, well, basically you trade 2 funds, I think it's 2 stamina, 2 reason, and I decided to gamble by tossing away all of my funds, and we lost 3 stamina instead of 2 stamina, which we could have chosen in that previous event. That's a very specific set of events, pair of events, because of the ability to zero fund yourself, and then run into out of funds afterwards. So overall, if you're willing to do that, you have to consider, if you're willing to take -2 funds and that, I forgot what the event is called, but you know the one. If you don't know, basically the choices are lose 2 funds, lose 2 stamina, or lose 2 reason. And you can choose to lose... I normally choose to lose stamina or reason, if you've seen me get into that event a few times. Because if you lose 2 funds, most likely you're going to be at 0 funds. It's hard on a Harbinger run to pretty much not have 0 funds. And so, therefore, doing that, if you have 0 funds, for those who don't know or forgotten, or just to say this out loud in order, you can run into out of funds, and out of funds, you trade off 5 Doom, 3 Stamina, or 3 Reason. So, essentially, to say it another way, in that first event, you can lose 3 Stamina or Reason or 5 Doom, or you can lose 2 Stamina or 2 Reason. That's essentially the kind of equivalency we can use there. Also, I'm being a bit bamboozled with my words because I'm looking at my Doom and looking at how much HP we have left. But what are we at here? What mystery are we in? I'm absolutely crazy. I'm going to look at the log. I can't tell, so never mind. I'm trying to use the BGM to find out what mystery I'm in. And I don't know. But anyway, Ghostly Spirit, I mean, even if we weren't on an Eldritch Parasite run, Ghostly Spirit would do wonders in that encounter. This is frogs. Okay, never mind. This is a custom mystery. I probably should have just police patrolled the forest at this point, but it's too late. So, let's take our free out and move on. I think that's free. And, yeah, stamina and reason-wise will survive the lighthouse. I'm not so sure Doom-wise, because I don't remember my second encounter. But I don't think we have Takshisan either. So, never mind, we do. But, either way, we have a bunch of stuff that I could probably use. Yeah, so if we get rid of a few things, we can end up getting more throw damage against Takshisan. Although, that being said, I probably should just take the handcuffs instead, so that we can handcuff tech if need be. We'll level up as well, why not? Just so we can do more, possibly. This is going to be absolutely useless, because even if I wanted to put my charisma to 8, we have 10 reason. We'll survive the lighthouse perfectly fine, reason-wise, as I just said. Or if we have something that procs based off getting experience or succeeding rolls, like Discipline, but again, Discipline in particular would not have benefited because we're on an Eldritch Parasite run and we can't heal stamina, and Discipline recovers 1 stamina. I don't remember this at all. 25%? Hey! RNG's working out. Now, if Aaron just decides, because Aaron is proccing on each floor here, so that's, again, Aaron is a really interesting old god gameplay-wise. And I know interesting is a very vague term to use, but I don't really know what else to say as I'm trying to actually survive. So, yeah, we can just sledgehammer our way out. But, without further... I think my action speed was actually pretty high, too. I haven't been keeping track of Aaron. So, yeah, but not much else to say without taking too much more of your time. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to see a certain character, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!